Hey, what's up guys? Today we're going to go over a simple AngularJS routing tutorial. What this is it lets you reload just the main content of the page without reloading all of the external stuff that you need, such as the Angular scripts, the Angular routes, any styles that you need for the entire application. It lets you just replace the visible HTML on the screen with the new page's content. So this will make it a lot faster. So let's get started. So I have a basic HTML document here where I have an Angular module called main app and a simple controller called main controller. And then I import the Angular library here, Angular route library, and then just a script that I have. So let's go into the script. So there's nothing here yet, but let's go ahead and create the Angular module quick. It's called main app. And then we pass in the array of strings. So in this case, we want to pass an ng route to import the route module that we added here. So that's the Angular route module. So we can go and add something new called .config, pass in an anonymous function, and we're going to need to inject a route provider. And this is going to let us set the routes for the different pages in the application. So we can say route provider.when. We pass in the path, and then we pass in an object, which is the configuration for that current page. So I have this folder over here in the project called views, where I have a home.html, 1.html, and 2.html. So we're going to use these and change the page without reloading everything on the main document. So let's go and say when we're on the home page, we'll show the home.html. We say template URL views home.html. We can say .when 1. We'll do template URL views 1.html. And we'll just copy this for the second one. Okay. So in order to view this, we're going to need, we can't run it in Google Chrome because of cross-origin blocking. So you could use it in a browser such as like Firefox, unless you're running this on a server, in which case you could run it in Chrome. So we have the config function here. Let's also add the main controller. We're not going to do anything with it really, but just to have it. So we have that. So let's go to Firefox, run this, and let's see what's going on here. So there's something else that we need to do in the index.html file. We have to tell Angular where to put the script for the different pages. So we have to add a ngView directive. So let's create a div, or let's create a main tag and say ngView. Save this, and if we go back, run it, it will see the home page, welcome home. So we want to be able to view the other pages too. So let's just create a simple unordered list with 3 list tags. And in each one we'll create a link. The first one will be just hashbang. So something else is all these paths that we specify here, the slash, /1, /2. The way Angular adds that to the URL is using something called hashbang. So it's going to be like this, 1, or you could even do like this, 1, 2, and then the home page could either be / or nothing. So it's going to be added on to the index.html in the URL. So it's going to be like this. So in order to change pages, in the href of a tag, we can specify hashbang, and then we can leave it blank after that for the home page. So we'll say home. And we can copy this twice, and we'll say page 1, page 2, and we'll say 1 and 2. Let's go back to the browser. If we click on page 1, we see it loads page 1. Click on page 2, it loads page 2. We can also go back home. So this is very simple, just changing the view of the different pages. So something else we could do is add a controller here. So let's do it for page 1. So we'll say controller and we'll say one controller. So we're just going to pass in a string with the name of the controller. So let's create another controller here. And we'll say, we'll inject the scope, and we'll add a message to it. So whenever we go to the one path, it's going to load this template and also give the template this controller to use. So it's going to load this one controller. So when on the one page, we could display this message because it's in that one controller. So we go to the one page, and let's just create a paragraph tag and say message. Save this, go back to the browser, refresh. If we go to page 1, we can see the hello world here, printed out from the controller. Something else you could do with routing is you could add parameters to the URL. So let's say we want to say name. So if you want a parameter, you just say colon, the name of the parameter that you want to use. So we could say like slash first slash last. So we'll get the first and last name. And so now if we go to page 1, here at Google Chrome, if we go to page 1, it's not going to work because it only accepts, you can only go to page 1 if you pass in these two parameters. So if you want to be able to go to it without those parameters, you can create two versions of it. One with just without the parameters and one with the parameters. So we have this first and last parameter. So we could add, we could get those values and display it on the screen. So let's do that in the one controller. So we have to inject another value called route params, another service, route params. And then we could say if route params dot first and route params dot last. So these have to have the same spelling that you specify in the route config here, the first and last. So then we say scope dot name equals first route params dot first, and we could say last. Or we could say a person maybe. So in the scope we have an object called person with a first and last name. You don't have to do this way. You could also say like scope dot first. If I could type route params dot first, and then like do the same thing for last if you want. You do any way you really want, depending on the application and what you need. But in this case, we'll just create an object called person. So now on the view, we could say, we'll say hello person dot first, person dot last. So we don't want this to be displayed if no variables or parameters are sent to this URL. So we could just add an ng show here. So ng show if person is defined. Because nowhere else in this controller do we define person, only in this if statement, if these two parameters are met, if the first and last parameters are set. So let's go ahead and actually add parameters here. So we'd say Jake Sear. You can see it says hello, Jake Sear. You can change this to whatever you want. So this is useful if you have, for example, like a parent-child relationship or you're displaying data from a database table, and you want to have like a table on the home page. Someone clicks on an entry, and it passes the ID of that entry to the URL, and you load all the data for that one entry on the next page. So you can do a lot of things with these routing parameters. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and thanks for watching.